She used to love like thunder, slamming every open door. Every promise, every stumble shook her to the floor. She used to burn so reckless, gave away her every flame. Watch the brightest parts of her disappear in someone's name. She taught her heart to whisper, soft as evening rain, falling on the damage, washing off the blame. No more breaking just to feel it, no more drowning in the pain. She used to love like thunder, now she loves like rain. She learned to breathe in silence, count the spaces, not the scars. Pulled her power from the quiet like a ceiling full of stars. Now she speaks in smaller sentences, but every word is true. She can say, I choose me, and let it echo through. She taught her heart to whisper, soft as evening rain, falling on the damage, washing off the blame. No more shouting just to matter, no more begging to remain. She used to love like thunder, now she loves like rain. But it moves the world she's made. She folds the laundry like tiny flecks of truth. Kettle hums in the corner, steam curling like a truth. She answers gently when thunder hits her name. Every yes is chosen, every no is framed in flame. steel wrapped in grace. She used to whisper just to keep the peace. Let every sharp word linger, hang like broken leaves. Now she holds her posture, eyes steady, breathing slow. Lets the silence answer what she doesn't know. But her spine is a silver pin, soft as dust, hard as faith you can't explain. She learned calm is not the same as giving everything away. Velvet heart, steel wrapped in grace. She kept a list of all the things she thought she lacked. Empty pots on the window, waiting for someone to come back. She traced her faults like lines on her own hands, watering doubt like it was all she had. But she was already a garden, quiet roots in the dark, still strong, every bruise, every scar growing wide into song. She thought she needed a stranger to tell her what she could be, but she was rain, she was sun, she was soil, learning to breathe. She said, love me into rooms that stayed so cold, gave away her Aprils just to feel something unfold. But in the silence, her own color came through, petals out she could be, but she was rain, she was sun, she was soil, learning to breathe. There is a season for every part she used to hide. Falling leaves, frozen ground, still a spring on the other side. She whispers, stay, to the face in the mirror tonight. I was never an empty field. I'm the keeper of my own light. Oh, now she moves like a garden, soft and stubborn. Roots run deep, every fault she forgave made a place she could keep. She doesn't wait at the doorway for anyone's seat or key. She's right, she's sun. She's the home she needs to be. She's sitting on the floor again, coffee ring ghosts on the notebook page, blue ink bleeding through her name, like it's learning how to change. There's tape on the mirror frame from the day that everything fell apart. Cracks caught the light just right, showed every version of her heart. Here comes a girl who broke, voice shaking as she tries the note right beside the one who stayed, holding pitch through every wave, every wound, every scar she's guarding, every shard she's slowly starting to sing in time. A choir of becoming, not perfect, but it fits mine. She hums like a held-back prayer, soft and small, then suddenly wide. Yesterday's tears in her throat, today she lets them glide. There's the one who said I'm fine, while the silence howled beneath. Now she leans into the line, lets the truth fall through her teeth. Here comes a girl who broke, voice shaking as she tries the note right beside the one who stayed, holding pitch through every wave, every wound, every scar she's guarding, every shard she's slowly starting to sing in time. A choir of becoming, not perfect, but it's mine. They overlap, they miss the mark. One comes in early, one sings sharp, but listen close, it's all her voice. The child that hid inside her room, the stranger in the wedding shoes, the one who finally walked away, all learning how to stay. Here comes a girl who broke, voice shaking as she holds the note, walking with the one who rebuilt, wearing all that tender guilt, every wound, every scar she's guarding, every shard she's slowly starting to sing in time. A choir of becoming, not perfect, still it shines. So let them clash, let them ring, every ghost, every view vultures sing in this trembling open skin. She's the song she's standing in. You left your cup on my small kitchen table. Lipstick ring still there in the wood. I try to scrub every trace of your shadow. It only sank in deeper than it should. I used to choke on your name, salt on my tongue, every day the same. Honey from the ache running through my veins now, used to taste like rust, burning every breath out. It didn't turn sweet 'cause I forgot your face. It's honey, honey from the ache. I'm living on the honey from the ache. Living on the honey from the ache. I passed that street where we argued for hours. Cold rain fell hard inside my chest. I let that hurt sit alone in the silence. Watched it soften when I let it rest. I used to drown in that night. Now it just shimmers in a gentle light. Oh, honey from the ache running through my veins now, used to taste like rust, burning every breath out. It didn't turn sweet 'cause I forgot your face. It's honey, honey from the ache. I'm living on the honey from the ache. Time didn't steal it, time learned to hold it. Hands that once trembled now touch it slow. I still remember every fracture, every break, but my voice drips golden every time I say your name. Honey from the ache running through my veins now, used to taste like rust, burning every breath out. It didn't turn sweet 'cause I ever forgot your face. It's honey, honey from the ache. I'm living on the honey from the ache. I was the rain, now I taste sugar when I say your name. She used to tuck the photos deep in drawers, face down. Names she never spoke out loud lived in the attic of her mouth. Every broken Sunday she traced the quiet dents in old birthday letters. and burned them for the scent. Now it's silk over scars, every line, every mark doesn't fade, doesn't vanish, but it's woven into art. She's not hiding the hurt, she's just changing the part where the wound used to own her. Now it's silk over scars. She stitched her shattered evenings into a pale blue dress, wore it to the kitchen, bare feet on cold wood steps, humming through the history, gentle where it's sore. Let the cracks stay visible, framed inside the door. Now it's silk over scars, every line, every mark doesn't fade, doesn't vanish, but it's woven into art. She's not hiding the hurt, she's just changing the part where the wound used to own her. Now it's silk over scars. She sings not to forget, but to remember softer. Let the tremor in her chest ring clearer, brighter. All the jagged, all the dark, turn to texture in the light. She wraps the past around her arms and holds herself tonight. Now it's silk over scars, every line, every mark doesn't fade, doesn't vanish, but it's woven into art. She's not hiding the hurt, she's just changing the part where the wound used to own her. Now it's silk over scars. She stopped hiding her history, let it rest upon her skin. Every ache a quiet pattern, every song a way back in. Morning at the kitchen sink, chipped mug, warm hands, same four walls, different light. Used to feel the winter in her bones. Every mirror, a quiet storm. Love once left her like an empty room. Now there's sunlight in her veins, slow gold, soft waves. Oh, this warm she thought she lost, she became not borrowed, not begged for, her own name on the flame. There is sunlight in her veins. She remembers closing every door, keeping every soft thing out, sleeping in a coat of doubt, small ember in a paper cup, hidden where the hurt wore thin. She guarded it through every night till it learned to live as skin. Now there's sunlight in her veins, slow gold, soft waves. All this warmth she thought she lost, she became not borrowed. remain, not borrow, not beg for her own love in her hands. There is sunlight in her veins. Quiet house, open heart, warm laugh, new day. She walks through the room she saved, leaving sunlight in her wake. She used to chase love like foam on the tide, running barefoot, breathless, for someone to decide. Hands full of promises turn into spray, salt on her pillow at the end of each day. Now she is the ocean that stayed deep, blue, unafraid. Waves rise, waves break, but her heart doesn't shake. Let the storms pass, let them fade. She is the ocean that stayed. Names in the sand, gone in one night. She learned that leaving can still lead to light. Anchors are heavy, so she grew her own, quiet and steady, in a world overblown. Now she is the ocean that stayed deep, blue, unafraid. Waves rise, waves break, but her heart doesn't shake. Let the storms pass, let them fade. She is the ocean that stayed. Let them come, let them go. Ships of glitter and gold. She won't beg, she won't bend. She is tied. She is end and beginning again. Now she is the ocean that stayed deep, blue, unafraid. Waves rise, waves break, but her heart doesn't shake. Let the storms pass, let them fade. She's the ocean that stayed. She's the ocean that I used to count the ways I fell, like tally marks across my skin. Every stumble felt like proof I was never meant to win. You could hear the doubt in my breathing. Every inhale fires inside my chest. No one knew we're raging here. Feather after the fall, I am softer, I am small, but I still belong to wings. I still belong to wings. Touching down is not the end, it's the turning, it's the bend. I'm not broken when I sink, I rise lighter than I think. Feather after the fall, I still belong to wings. I watched the others climbing fast, thought my pause was proof of flaw, but resting on the ground a while showed me what my heart is for. I traced the shape of every scar till they turned to guiding lines. They were maps back to myself, not a list of failed tries. Feather after the fall, I am softer, I am small, but I still belong to wings. I still belong to wings. Touching down is not the end, it's the turning, it's the bend. I'm not broken when I sink, I rise lighter than I think. Feather after the fall, I still belong to wings. Let the old weight leave my shoulders, every should have drift away. If I'm closer to the earth now, I can feel it when I pray. When I'm lying in the quiet, face to sky, afraid to try. I remember every feather has to fall before it flies. Feather after the fall, I am softer, I am small, but I still belong to wings. I still belong to wings. Touching down is how I learn. Every landing holds a turn. I'm not broken when I sink, I rise lighter than I think. Feather after the fall, I still belong to wings. She kept her questions quiet, folded like clothes on a chair. Every bright thought hung back in the air. She kissed the comfort stories, swallowed her wanting whole, smiled through the static, shrank to fit their mold. But in the quiet under her ribs, something steady started to live. A tiny tremor, a silver thread, a sound she'd buried, woke up and spread. There's a song beneath the skin, low and steady, rising in. Every breath a brighter spin. She's the anthem, not the din. Oh, she doesn't beg to be let in. She's the storm and she's the wind. She was waiting named her gentle, grateful, told her to take up less space. She learned to fold her feelings like paper cranes in a vase. But in the mirror morning, soft light along her jaw, she heard a humming heartbeat older than every flaw. It shakes the shutters, it cracks the frame, a quiet thunder that says her name. No more muting, no more thin. She feels the chords pull from within. There's a song beneath her skin, low and steady, rising in. Every breath a brighter spin. She's the anthem, not the din. Yeah, she doesn't beg to be let in. She's the storm and she's the wind. She was waiting to begin. The song beneath her skin. She opens her mouth and the room falls away. Every too much, every please stay. All of the pieces she tried to unsee fold into harmony, set her heart free. No more shrinking, no more thin. Every scar now violin. Every crack a way to shine. Every wrong becomes a line. There's a song beneath her skin, low and steady, rising in. Every breath a brighter spin. She's the anthem, not the din. She doesn't beg to be let in. She's the storm and she's the wind. She was never just a hymn. She's the song beneath her skin. Soft as a sunrise, strong as a tide. She is her own warm, holy sky. She doesn't ask to be let in. She just sings from beneath her skin. She wrote his name, small and careful, in the corners no one sees, on the quiet of her morning, on the bruise behind her sleeve. Tiny letters pressed like petals, folded where her secret started. Ink was heavy, but the paper was her heart. Ink that forgave, didn't fade, didn't break. She turned the page, let the lines rearrange. She didn't tear him out. She drew herself in, bigger than the hurt, wider than the sin. Ink that forgave stayed and let her begin. He walked away, left his shadows on the doorway, on the floor. Left the coffee cup half empty, left his jacket on the door. Every memory color, even where it pulled her down. So she traced it with a kind of sound. Ink that forgave, didn't fade, didn't break. She turned the page, let the lines rearrange. She didn't tear him out. She drew herself in, bigger than the hurt, wider than the sin. Ink that forgave, and let her begin. She wrote her name longer this time, zooped it through the sky. She kept inside. Oh, she's writing. She left his letters right where they were. Then under every word she underlined, I'm still mine. Ink that forgave, didn't fade, didn't break. She turned the page, let the lines rearrange. She didn't tear him out. She drew herself in, bigger than the hurt, wider than the sin. Ink that forgave, held her steady and thin, till her own name filled the margins within. Ink that forgave, stay and let her begin. Let me begin. She used to sleep with the hallway light on, praying that someone would notice the fear by the door. Hands on her knees, counting the quiet, waiting for footsteps that never crossed her floor. Now there's a lantern in her own hands, soft little sunrise in her palms. No one else holding the matches. She is the shelter in the storm. Lantern in her own hands, steady and small, but it stands all that she wanted from someone. She learned to give it to herself. She learned her name in a stranger's mirror, traced every freckle like reading a secret note, burned every script where she played the extra, watched all the ashes turn into something like hope. Now there's a lantern in her own hands, soft little sunrise in her palms. No one else holding the matches. She is the shelter in the storm. Lantern in her own hands, steady and small, but it stands all that she wanted from someone. She learned to give it to herself. It isn't blazing, it's barely bright, but it stays with her through every night. It flickers gently, it never pleads, just quiet courage for quiet needs. Now there's a lantern in her own hands, soft little sunrise in her palms. No one else candles holding the matches. She is the shelter in the storm. Lantern in her own hands, steady and small, but it stands enough to see one step forward, enough to finally walk alone. Cold cup on the counter, blue light on the floor, her name on an old letter she doesn't read anymore. Used to wait by the doorway, holding her breath for a sign. Every silence felt like a verdict, every maybe a lie. All of the time she folded some more, tracing the words on her bedroom wall. Tonight she sees how the paint has peeled. There's room for something real. Crown of quiet gold, no trumpet, no parade, just the softest yes she finally gave her name. Crown of quiet gold, no witness in the room, but the air around her shifted like it suddenly made room. She stopped begging to be chosen, and the world felt less cold. When she chose herself, she grew a crown of quiet gold. Lone chair at the window, rain writing lines on the glass. Their faces in framed silver, she lets them sit in the past. Used to chase every echo, asking, is it me you mean? Now her pulse is the answer, steady, low and clean. All of the nights she knelt and prayed for someone to prove she could be saved. Tonight she hears her own heart speak, clear as a sunrise streak. Crown of quiet gold, no thunder in the sky, just a tired girl standing who's done asking why. Crown of quiet gold, nothing anyone bestowed, but the way her shoulders loosen, like she's laying down a load. She stopped begging to be chosen in that still unspoken fold. When she chose herself, she wore a crown of quiet gold. It isn't bright, it doesn't burn, it circles soft. She feels it turn around her doubts, around her scars, a halo only she can guard. Crown of quiet gold, undeniably there, in the way she moves through morning, in the way she fills the air. Crown of quiet gold, no applause to behold, just a quiet, steady woman, standing taller than she's told. She stopped begging to be chosen, let the begging lose its hold. When she chose herself, she found a crown of quiet gold. Petals by the window, pressed between last year's plans. Tea stains on the table, her name on the back of my hand. Silence on the Sunday, dust in the afternoon. Shadows climbing carefully across a quiet room. Petals that refuse winter tried to close her, keep her small. Silence tried to shrink her, pinned her picture to the wall. Still she unfolded, slow, deliberate, radiant, slow, slow, deliberate, radiant, in spite of it all. Caught in a ribcage, heart light on a dimmer switch. Snow stacked on the driveway, world frozen, holding its breath. She watered all the houseplants, talked softly to every leaf. Tiny acts of courage underneath the grief. Petals that refuse winter try to close her, keep her small. Silence tried to shrink her, pinned her picture to the wall. Still she unfolded, slow, deliberate, radiant, slow, slow, deliberate, radiant, in spite of it all. One side, then another. Soft glow through the covers. I'm still here, barely spoken, but it should. The cold open. Petals that refused winter tried to close her, keep her small. Silence tried to shrink her, pinned her picture to the wall. Still she unfolded, slow, deliberate, radiant, slow, slow, deliberate, radiant, in spite of it all. Ash on her shoe, smoke in her hair. They walked through the ruin, acting like she wasn't there. They shook their heads. Some things don't survive, but under the cinders, some things stayed alive. She's a wildflower after fire, growing through the blackened wire. Not delicate, defiant in the dust. Soft, but she will not erase. Keeps her color in this place. They thought she'd be a ghost they could forget. She bloomed instead. Charcoal on brick, sky painted gray. They boxed up their pity, then they walked away. felt the heat turn into light. One tiny stem pushing against the night. She's a wildflower after fire, growing through the blackened wire. Not delicate, defiant in the dust. Soft, but she will not erase. Keeps her color in this place. They thought she'd be a ghost they could forget. She bloomed. They said you're ruined. She said I'm changed. They saw the damage. She saw the space for every scorched and broken part. A root went deeper under her heart. She's a wildflower after fire, growing through the blackened wire. Not delicate, defiant in the dust. Soft, but she will not erase. Keeps her color in this place. They wrote her off in ink that wouldn't set. She grew and grew till all their words were red. Ash on her shoes, light in her eyes, quiet and steady, too stubborn to die. I knelt where shadows kissed the floor, a trembling flame, no light no more. The air it wept, the walls held still, the silence sang against my will. What mercy hides in broken stone? What love remains when left alone? Echoes of grace, they call my name through hollow halls, through loss and blame. A whisper soft, a hymn untold, to mend the shards of hearts grown cold. A harp's lamented strings unwind, threads of gold through fractured time. The organ groans, the heavens ache, the soul undone, the heart opaque. What prayer ascends, what tears descend, when faith must rise, though love may end. Echoes of grace, they call my name through hollow halls, through loss and blame. A whisper soft, a hymn untold, to mend Cold cups on the counter, same chair, same stare. She'd been scrolling through endings like they'd always be there. Pulled the hurt from the heartbeat, folded it, set it aside. Closed the door on the echo, let the silence reply. Barefoot into sunrise, she stopped running from the night. No armor on her shoulders, just a shirt and open sky. Barefoot into sunrise, every scar a love for the ride. No apology, no disguise, just a woman choosing warmth again. Just a woman choosing warmth again. Floorboards know every secret, little cracks under each step. But the sting in her breathing doesn't own her anymore yet. She walks slow through the hallway, light spilling over her hands. Every bruise that tried to break her, now a soft, unfinished strand. Barefoot into sunrise, she stopped running from the night. No armor on her shoulders, just a shirt and open sky. Barefoot into sunrise, every scar along for the ride. No apology, no disguise, just a woman choosing warmth again. Just a woman choosing warmth again. Let the last goodbye fall like dust from her skin. All the almost lost, she's not living in. Every quiet note turns to breathe, to light. She forgives the dark as she steps outside.